KD, KD. Boy, uh, when will you ever learn? When will you learn, Mom? Okay, so I'm not really on Facebook that much. Um, I'm always on Instagram, but KD, what are you doing? Didn't you learn from the last previous two super teams that super teams don't win you championships? They really don't, you know. Um, now I know a lot of people are gonna say, well, OKC wasn't really a super team. Yes, they built through the draft, but they were super favorites to win it all, because they were so young at the time. Um, and then you went to Brooklyn and got Kyrie and got your former teammate James Harden and Vegas. Obviously, Vegas, said that, you know what? Brooklyn Nets are going to win it all. There's nobody that can stop them offensively. Defensively, yes, they're a liability. But offensively, if you could get 27 from James, 37 from Kyrie, 45 from KD, there's no stopping them. But then again, I said this all of last year that they was going to crumble. This super team was not going to work. And I was right. Right? I was right. So now you got Chris Paul. And you got beaten. But a lot of people want to say, well, what is a super team? A super team is when you have three or two or possibly four all-star players on your team. And then the rest obviously are role players. Um, you know, look at Shaq. I'm not Shaq. Look at the Lakers. The Lakers had Karl Malone, Gary Payton, Kobe, Shaq. You know, um, but listen. I'm not here to bash KD. You know, it's just his decision making is just weird. I don't know if he pulled the strings behind the front office. I doubt it. I don't think KD has that type of power. Um, but I know he wanted Bradley Beal. I know he wanted Bradley Beal because Bradley Beal is obviously more athletic than Chris Paul. Um, and again, that's gonna hurt their bench. That's gonna hurt their bench because they have no bench production. Not only that, they don't have no bench production. They have no perimeter defensive players. Unless they go out and get a Draymond Green or I don't like somebody. Trade for Aiden for like a few decent that could defend. They don't need a scorer. They just need to do their job. You know what I'm saying? Like Bill Belichick. You know. Um, but let me know what you think. You know. Let me know what you think. Is KD tarnishing his career? Now I say KD is a bust because, to be honest with you, Kobe wouldn't do that. MJ wouldn't do that. Iverson, obviously, he got spanked by the Lakers. He still, the next following year, tried to, go back to the NBA Finals, whatever, you know. So, it's just the person, It's not really the player, it's just the person, it's just who he is. He's sensitive. KD is very sensitive. Um, because I was watching Oprah side yesterday, and he went after Oprah side, and I told him that it wasn't really KD. I mean, I don't care if you're a YouTuber. I don't care what you do for your job, but celebrity's not gonna waste their time talking to you. You know, unless you like another celebrity. You know. Um, but I said it was probably one of his burner accounts or somebody. You know, not really trying to be him, but somebody behind the computer typing for him. You know what I'm saying? Um, but all KD had to do was just form his own team. Like I get it. He went to Brooklyn. I totally got that. He went to Brooklyn. As you can see, I got my Knicks shirt on. You can't see because it's, in the, darks. But yeah, he went to Brooklyn. That's fine. Brooklyn haven't won crap in 50 years, 55 years, whatever. The fact that he left, they already made the playoffs this year. But KD knew he was not going to last. KD knew that he was going to get beat in the first round. That's why he dipped and left. Kyrie too. But like, this is not going to work out. This is not going to work out. So they forced their way out of Brooklyn, leaving Brooklyn a mess. Like when KD went to Brooklyn the first time, I was shocked because everybody thought he was going to come to the Knicks, and I didn't really want him to come to the Knicks because I already know who KD is as a player, not a person. KD will always get what he wants, and, I just wanted the best for him, whether he went back to Washington, his hometown, or whether he went somewhere else, But in fact, the fact that he went to Golden State out of all teams that beat him, and not only did they beat him, they won the championship without him. And people saying, oh, if it wasn't for KD, Curry wouldn't win a championship. I digress. I think the Warriors would have easily beat the Cavaliers that year because the Cavaliers was not even that good. You know what I'm saying? This is not really my first time going live, but it's my first time going live in a long time. But KD just has to do better, But yes, Oprah is right. Shout out to Oprah. He's right. When his legacy is over, people are going to remember KD as who he is, like Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler went to Miami and formed his own team. He didn't go to the team that beat him the next following year. He formed his own team down in South Beach. Now, obviously, he got to the finals twice, and he lost twice. But that's due to bad management, not surrounding him with decent players, I mean, 7 undrafted players. Like, come on, man. It's a great Cinderella story. Don't get me wrong. You know what I'm saying? But like the first time the Lakers were stacked, that bubble championship, and then this year the Nuggets was obviously no match for them. Everybody on that Nuggets team was at least 6'6" or 6'5". So matchup wise, Miami was just too small, too little. But man, KD, now I have a solution. The Suns can save themselves because the Suns also haven't won the championship. Even when they had Charles Barkley and Steve Nash and Amari Stoudemire and Sean Marion, they still haven't won the championship. OKC has 1 championship. Brooklyn has 0 championships. The Suns have no championships. So what is the issue with KD going to these teams that have no championship aspirations? Like, it doesn't make any sense. Like you want to go to a team that has 3 or 2 championships. Like imagine KD going to the Philadelphia 76ers. Now, obviously, you don't think him and Joel Embiid would butt heads? I doubt it. You know what I'm saying? But you know, hey, he went to the Phoenix Suns. Again, the Phoenix Suns have no aspiration. They have no ambition. They have nothing going for themselves. Okay, and I wish they win a championship. You know, but this is not the way to do it, KD. This is not the way to do it. If you want to cement your legacy, do it now. Hell, you could win 2 championships in the city of Arizona. Hell, they'll build a, at the end of your career. They'll build a statue outside of you, outside of the arena. They never did it for Nash. They never did it for Amari. They never did it for Charles Barkley. But if you can win them at least one ring, I promise you, they will build a statue outside of their arena. Just like how the Bulls did it for Michael Jordan and Shaq for the Lakers. Now, I'm not saying that the Nuggets is going to build a statue of Jokic outside of their arena, but obviously outside of Melo, obviously Jokic is light years ahead of Melo in terms of team player. You know what I'm saying? Because he went to Siberian, which is obviously overseas, and over there they play like fundamental basketball. They go through the basics. You know what I'm saying? It's not like American. It's not like over here where you'll be boom or bust. Failure, because they don't view European basketball. They don't play the same way as they do overseas. Over here, it's like you got to shine, or else they're gonna label you as a bust. You know, but they're not gonna win it this year. And I know everybody's gonna say, "What are you talking about? They got Bradley Beal. They got this. They got that. They're gonna trade Yaden." They could, but the damage is already done. The damage is already done. They could start off the season with the best record. Let's say they go 21-2. Let's say they win their first 21 games and they only lost 2. Best record in the West. But when it comes time, it's the same tune. It's the same tune, ladies and gentlemen. It's the same tune. They're going to fail. Why? Because they're not a complete team. They're not a complete team. Now, like I said before, I can save this Suns team. Now, if they're going to trade Aiden, which I believe they are willing to, you need at least 3 good perimeter defensive players. It could be 1 power forward, 2 centers, or it could be 1 center, 2 power forwards. You need at least 3 good perimeter defensive players. And if you have a solid bench, that at least can get you to the finals. I don't know if you're going to win it, but that right there can at least get you to the finals, because what Aiden provides is it's nothing. Aiden provides you nothing, unless Frank Vogel can turn him into, a AD, in the bubble type player, which Frank Vogel is a very good defensive coach. Obviously he turned Roy Hibbert into a very good, solid, center, defensive center. Who else? When AD got there in the bubble, was he there in the bubble? Yeah, when AD got there in the bubble, his defensive ratings went up. He went from averaging 4 blocks to 5, 6 blocks a game. You know what I'm saying? So Frank Vogel can adjust Aiden's game a little bit to have him become like a very good defensive player. But you're gonna need more than that. Like I said, you're gonna need at least 3 defensive players, 3 defensive perimeter players. If you can have that, then like I said, your trip to the finals is going to be good as gold. But if you think that you're going to beat everybody in the West with this roster, with no bench, look at what you did in Brooklyn. You had a piss poor bench, and you think you can outshoot everybody. It's the same thing. It's the same thing as the Brooklyn Nets. There's no difference. What's the difference? The only difference is Bradley Beal actually shows up in playoff games. You know, unlike James Harden. That's the only difference. Both Nets and Suns both had piss poor bench. They relied on their starters a lot. So it's really not the same, or it's not really different at all. But we'll see. You know, we'll see. You know, I mean, a lot of people can say this and that and ifs and buts, but when October rolls around, a lot of heads are going to shine on Phoenix Suns. And you know what? It's raining too. Look at that. But you know what? That's how the cookie crumbles, man. That's how the cookie crumbles. So, you know, I mean, and Katie took the Twitter. Katie took the Twitter saying that if my toe wasn't on the line in that game 7, we would have won the championship. I'll let y'all decide what he means by that. Because I've seen the game, you know, and his toe was obviously on the line. I didn't even realize that was a game 7. I thought that was like a game 6. Because I don't even remember if it went to 7 games. Because they was just so tight, you know. So, yes, I remember that play. You know, it was the final seconds of the fourth quarter. I think who inbounded the ball? Patty Mills inbounded the ball, and then he caught KD at the top, and his foot was on the line, like 2 inches on the line, and then he shot it and he missed. No, actually he made it, but it counted as a 2, and then obviously the Bucks wind up winning. But again, the Bucks was just a complete team at the end of the day. You know, whether KD want to make his excuses or not, the Bucks was just on a different level defensively. You know, they were their complete team. They were the #1 seed, and you know that was just it. You know, but you know when push comes to shove, KD is fortunately going to get bounced out in the first round or second round or Western Conference Finals. Or he might probably go all the way to finals and lose in 6. But knowing how that team is constructed right now, I'll probably say Western Conference. I don't know who against. I don't know who, you know. I don't know who, but the Suns are not going to win it next year. And I know Vegas is boosting them up. I know Vegas is telling, you know, the sharp guys and everybody, oh, bet on the Suns, bet on the Suns. Don't do it, because that's the same mess they did in Brooklyn. You know, when they had the big 3 in Kyrie, James, and Kevin Durant, they was doing the exact same thing, boosting them up, giving them 600 plus points Vegas odds, or 600 odds of winning. You know, I mean, Brooklyn was at 1,200 plus. So, I mean, for the Phoenix Suns to be at least 600 shows you, man. Shows you. These people out here making you know, fail, you know. Unless unless you're very good at drafting, or not drafting, betting, then, you know, you can outthink them, you know, because a lot of people always fall for the okie doke, you know. Like I bet my homeboy $45 that the Suns was not going to win the championship, and I was right. You know, because he was a Brooklyn Nets fan. You know, so you know he won that. I won that bet. You know, obviously he paid up like 5 days later. You know, but I said, man, do not believe the people. Believe in yourself. You know, believe in yourself. You know, because the only person that knows you better is yourself. Don't worry about what other people think or the experts, because the experts are 99% wrong half of the time. You know, everybody thought when the Lakers made that run this year, everybody thought, oh, the Lakers was gonna win it all. You know, and behold, they got smoked. They got blitzed. 0-4. You know, sent LeBron James packing, and this is the second time LeBron James been 4-0. You know, he was 4-0 when he took the Cavaliers to the finals against the Spurs, and then this is his second time. So this is his second time being swept. So, you know, just believe in yourself, man. Just believe in yourself. But I don't think the Suns are going to make it. I really don't. You know, they'll have the better record, obviously, because of the talent. But getting far, nah. Like, comment, subscribe. Until next time, take care of yourself and each other.